Paramount Plus.
Coming up, some are upset at the thought of historic but flood-damaged buildings possibly being demolished.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Members of the Erie community in Perry County met tonight after the E.O. Robinson Mountain Fund announced yesterday they would have to demolish some of the property at the historic Homeplace Community Center. It was an area hit hard by flooding 3 weeks ago. As WYMT's Chandler Wilcox reports, some hope to preserve the historic property.
Homeplace is the perfect name for this community center, which has been a gathering point for generations.
People would come not only from Perry County, but they would come from Breathitt County, and they would come from Knott County. So this three-county area served many people.
People from all across the region came here for all kinds of needs. Some were even born in the facilities.
I was born at what was then the Homeplace Hospital. My records were there. I went there as a child when it became a clinic.
Floodwaters tore through a lot of the property at Homeplace, damaging memories. Even now, as mud covers the landscape, people still gather.
People would like to be able to, I mean, it's a comfort for us to come up here and sit in the picnic shelter. You know, but people will look to this and they'll continue to. And to come on days when they're tired and they've been working, they'd like to come here and rest.
Community members met tonight with one goal in mind: preserving property that the E.O. Robinson Mountain Fund announced might have to be demolished. The log cabin, which was built in the 1930s, is number one on their list.
It was built with all traditional material in an all traditional way. And it was the first dorm for the workers who came here. My mother was one of the original workers, and she stayed there.
It is more than just a building to the Erie community, tugging at the heartstrings of Appalachia.
And I said, and not only for me, but it is so near to the heart and soul of all these people here.
The Erie community is hoping to soon meet with the E.O. Robinson Mountain Fund Board to discuss preserving the historic property. In Erie, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
We reached out to the directors of Homeplace Community Center for comment, but they declined, referring to their announcement saying they plan to do what is safest for the community. Neighbors rescuing neighbors. 3 weeks after the historic flooding, stories of rescues are still abundant. Bob and Debbie Smith of Whitesburg were one of those couples. They waited on their porch as 5 feet of water flooded their home. Putting out a cry for help on Facebook, friends with a boat came to their rescue, helping Debbie from her wheelchair into the boat, fighting a strong current to get safely to drier ground. Bob said the locals are the true heroes and he's thankful. People saw his post on Facebook, or he's not sure they would have gotten out.
That's what people said. That's how they knew, because we're isolated down here. Nobody would have been driving down here for any reason. So people started going over there by the walking track and just kind of waiting for a boat to come that they had, talked to.
Debbie was taken to the hospital on a side-by-side where she stayed for 2 weeks. Bob says they plan to buy a new double-wide and put it where their other house was and are not afraid of another flood.
Continuing to watch a rather quiet evening around the mountains tonight. We've got mostly clear skies. We're just watching a little bit of that patchy fog. Outside at the moment from our camera down in Whitesburg, all is quiet down there, looking fantastic down Main Street at this hour. Temperatures around the region have fallen into the middle and upper 60s around the region. A few lower 60s sneaking in. I'm looking at you, Clintwood, coming in at 61. Monticello not far at 63. Watching the possibility for some valley fog again tonight. Hazard already with 5 miles visibility there at the airport. Same thing down in Williamsburg. So we're going to have to watch it. And even though you may see 10 miles in some spots, we're dealing with some river valleys here that may not be at the observation site. You can see the low-level moisture on pinpoint Doppler. It's showing up really well. Typically does tonight or on nights like this, and more of that's expected, but none of it's rain. You see satellite and radar animated, nothing to worry about. So as we head through the night, we're in the low 60s. We're rather calm as we head through the night. Now, the latest on when we could see some showers returning to the forecast. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. More than $42 million in grants have been approved under the FEMA Individuals and Households program. The money will help nearly 5,300 households. This includes more than $30 million from the housing assistance grants to homeowners to bring their damaged properties to a sanitary and habitable condition. An additional $8 million in other needs assistance provides grants to applicants for immediate needs such as medical and dental expenses, moving and storage, funeral costs, and child care. Governor Beshear says as far as the FEMA application process, there is more transparency on claims.
So a lot of moving pieces, and we're going to try to further drill down on the different buckets. How many are pending? How many have been denied? How many have been denied and then later approved? What are the reasons?
Governor Beshear says more transparency and more numbers will help families to know the additional work they need to do. Kentuckians can apply through FEMA at disasterassistance.gov. One family in Pike County says they've continued fighting for FEMA assistance. Kara Tackett is expecting her 7th child and was affected by the flooding. Tackett and her husband have applied for FEMA assistance and been denied now, they say, 5 times. Once following their initial application, 3 in a single day after multiple appeals, and following our meeting with Tackett, she let us know she had heard from a FEMA representative about her family's 5th denial during these 3 weeks. Tackett says it's a difficult time, but believes persistence will pay off.
Being in this position is difficult, but it humbles you. It humbles you. So we'll grow back stronger from this one way or another.
Tackett, her husband, and her children have been separated following the damage and are living in friends and family's homes at the moment, but she says they are struggling to find a place for her baby boy that's due in late November. Most Kentucky students are now back in the classroom, but for several districts in eastern Kentucky, they are still trying to get a new school year started. In Knott County, the start date has been pushed back. District leaders there say they are relying on other schools to help them get ready. That's because water damaged much of what was inside. Samantha Valentino explains how other schools are helping.
Knott County is one of many school districts forced to push back their start dates because of flood damage.
Edmond Elementary got around 2 foot of water. Knott Central got 4 to 8 inches. The vocational school had around 3 feet in the classroom area.
Their new start date is September 19th, but to get their schools ready for opening day, they need help from fellow school districts.
For our school system to reach out to the school systems in Eastern Kentucky is the right thing to do and the first thing we thought of.
Corbin Independent Schools are collecting books to help Knott County schools rebuild their libraries.
She was able to contact and ask about what are the immediate needs. And we reached out to our community and sent out information and were able to raise $2,000.
In Bracken County, they've donated everything from paper towels to 100 school desks.
The community came out with cleaning supplies. It wasn't just a few things. We had pallets of things. We had large items. It was something that was truly amazing.
Knott County Superintendent Brent Hoover says their September 19th start date wouldn't be possible without the generosity of so many school districts.
No words can express the gratitude that we have here in Knott County for the support that we have observed over the last few weeks. It's just, and it's heartfelt. These people come in and they give their all.
In Corbin, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
While Brady Sandlin and his dad were cleaning up flood debris in Knott County, Brady found a jewelry box with rings still attached. Brady and his dad were able to find the owner through Facebook, where she saw a post about the rings, and little did they know the rings meant more than they thought after learning the owner had lost her home down Troublesome Creek.
Well, you kind of give it a little different look because you don't think about what it could mean to people or anything. And once you find out the true story, then it kind of hits you and realize you just did a good thing.
Brady and his parents met with the owner of the rings, Cheyenne White, and made sure she got them back. Still to come on Mountain News at 11, road damage and road repairs are leading to congestion in some areas and frustration for drivers. But experts remind everyone to practice some patience on the pavement.
Plus, it's been a rather pleasant start to the week, but unfortunately more rain is on the way as it comes to an end. The latest details on the best time for those showers coming up.
Oh boy. What? We better get out of here. That clown is about to hit a water line.
He didn't contact 811 to mark the